Okay, so we are, this is office hours. If this is your first office hours, this is welcome. We run this every month at the moment. It's the 15th of February today, 2023. It's 5 minutes past 8 in the UK. In the evening, that is 5 minutes past 8 p.m. And yeah, so this is office hours. We literally answer all the questions that you've submitted before this, and myself and Kevin will share the screen if we can, or we'll just answer them via voice. I guess most of the times we share the screen because it's great for you to see it. So you've got me and Kevin. We have been here for a while. We've been using OptimizePress since version 1. So you'd have seen us around either in support, Facebook groups, wherever, whatever channels you're chatting with us in, or questions you're asking us, or some of you might have even had calls with me. So we'll be hosting it. We'll be we'll do our best to answer all the questions we can. Just a few general house rules. Yeah, if you give us your attention, I'm going to turn off all my phones and devices. I always do. So we can pay attention to the questions you guys are asking us. We'll answer questions that have been submitted. You can ask along the way. We'll mark those as questions if anyone's putting them in the chat windows here. We'll flag them as questions, and then we'll try and get to them at the end. We do have a lot of questions to go through tonight from everyone who submitted before coming on the webinar. So thank you for doing that. Yeah, so chat box sort of looks like this. There's chat over on the right. Some of you are on mobile devices. Let's see. It's quite good, actually. It shows how many people are on what devices, like mobiles and things. So some of you will be on mobile devices. It'll be a bit different. There's a chat window. You can message us privately as well. We do get that. Some people will message privately. That's totally cool. So we'll just go through all the questions that have been submitted, switch between screens and the slides so you can see the questions, and we'll switch between them all, and hopefully we can show you stuff that you can learn or want to do, or you can't figure out, or if you arrived at any hurdles in your process of building a site or marketing, then hopefully we will be able to answer them for you by showing you on the screen live how to fix it or how to do something. So let's get this set up nicely. There's usually a lot of switching between screens. So then what I'll do in a minute is I'll switch over and share my full screen so that you can see everything that we're doing live on the screen. So this first one is from Angela. I want to learn more about the new tracking option in OptimizePress that integrates the Facebook pixel. Does that eliminate the need for the Meta plugin? And does it provide the proper code for my pages? Kev, I've not played around with this properly. I'm going to let you answer this if you know, or if you already have answered any questions in like recently in the support forums or anything, or in our help desk. I don't know if you know much about the Facebook pixel testing, tracking even.
Yeah, contrary to popular belief, I don't actually know everything. So Facebook is kind of like my thing that I don't know a lot about, like as far as the pixel. And I mean, I know how to add it to a site and everything, but
so we could integrates with it, doesn't it? So we can
as far as like Facebook ads and doing things with that and all the tracking we have, I haven't dug into that. I know we are working on the documentation and training for that feature. It's something that we basically soft launched it without documentation, just so we can. Some people were asking for it, and we're taking on feedback.
Do you know if there's any conflicts between the Meta plugin, which I think the Meta plugin, the last one I saw, it was
I think
it has the pixel and stuff.
I think what would happen is you would get a duplicate pixel error.
Yeah. Yes, that's what I've seen.
I wouldn't use them both.
Yeah.
Because I think our settings would do that site-wide. You get all the tracking information for opt-in forms and checkout forms and upsells and downsells and conversions, and there's a lot of settings there. I think there's a way to open a sandbox account for Facebook ads now, so I'm looking into that.
You can always run.
And I'm going to see what I can figure out. Maybe next month I might have some answers for this.
Ben actually in the chat has just said the tracking option works well and can confirm on my end, and it's not needed. The Meta plugin once you have and not needed the Meta plugin.
Awesome.
Once
thanks Ben for posting that there.
I was going to say exactly what I wouldn't use both. So if you're going to use the Meta plugin, then don't use the OptimizePress integration.
Yeah.
The Meta plugin, I've not seen it recently, but I'm guessing it's got a few more features around Facebook that probably aren't totally relevant to tracking. So either use one or the other. If you're ever unsure, use one or the other. As long as you're getting your tracking and it's pushing through into Facebook, and you're getting the right stats and the right events being called and stuff like that, then then turn off, keep one off.
There's a browser extension on Chrome, anyways, for Metapixel, and you can see, what's. I guess I don't know what all it says, but Ben posted that there. I guess you can see what's going on with the pixel when you visit the page.
Yeah, it usually gives you. That's right. It'll tell you if it's active on that page, and it gives you some.
You probably want to visit the page without being logged in, though, to see everything as it would for a client or a customer coming through.
Okie doke. Hope that helps you, Angelo. This is from Ben, and this might be the same Ben in the group who's in the chat. Members area download any ETA or plan when this will get implemented. If it can't get rolled out in the next 3 months, is there an alternative way that I can deliver the download to different members without giving the direct download URL, which exposes the file? Now, I was going to say, if you're going to protect downloads, then use Optimize Mentor. I think that's what you mean, Ben, by that members area. I don't know. What do you take? What's your take on that, Kev?
I think I know what he's asking. So basically, when you have download files, like zip files, you want to offer to your members as a download. You want to protect them from falling into the wrong hands and from being shared, people to get them without paying. So there's plugins out there like S3 Media Bot, or I think there's another one called S3 Media Maestro that both work with OptimizePress that you could use to do that exact thing, where if you upload your files to Amazon S3, then it would protect those files from being where it would expose the actual URL.
And so it protects the URL or masks it.
So I do know that we are planning on doing something in this regards. I don't know how that feature is going to work or when it will come out. We have quite a stack of feature requests and an even bigger stack of features the team are working on. So right now, it's really impossible for me to really predict when and what's coming. And I just know, some things are working on, and I know what they're considering. So I do hope that this is something that we could add. I just don't know exactly when or how it'll work.
Yeah, I think like with the like Ben's actually said he's tried the members download, but that only works obviously for checkouts, and that does protect the URL based
so
off.
With that, when you add
the ID, right?
When you add a download file to a checkouts product, and you go from a checkout form to a thank you page that has the checkouts download element, it will show that download for that customer. They don't have to even be a member on your site for that. That's totally separate from Mentor. Has nothing to do with Mentor.
Yeah, that's a different the key or parameter key in the URL, right?
Yeah.
Which they download based off purchase.
I think we could expand on that, because since we already have the integration with Amazon there, and we already have an element in there, we could maybe perhaps do something there to make it a membership downloads. Or what we could do is make it where if you include the downloads on the checkout, you can add that element into the members area, and it'll ping off their email address and give them permissions based on the products they purchased. Again, I can't really say exactly how something's going to work until it gets here. But I know exactly what he's talking about here, and I know we're going to do something for that. It's just, how long has Mentor been out? Less than a year. So I mean, we can't do 10 years of development in 6 months. So just give us some time. I'm sure these features will be in there.
Yep, nice one, Kev. My take is always, well, it depends. I don't know what Ben is selling, so I don't know exactly the product and how valuable or what it is and how big. But my take is generally don't focus too much on the fact it's not fully protected or the way people are going to share it, because they have to physically copy the location of the file, I guess. And I just tend not to focus too much on that. As long as the customer's purchasing gets the product and you're changing them, then worry about it when you know everyone is definitely sharing it. But you can spend so much time going down these holes of trying to protect stuff and using different link expiry things that you don't even get the product out.
Yeah, and then anybody can go get a Dropbox account and download your files and put it on there and share it anyways,
exactly.
right? So,
yeah, so it doesn't actually matter. Yeah,
if you don't want
exactly right.
anybody to share it, then don't put it on the internet.
Don't put it on the internet.
I mean, I'm
That's
sorry
generally
to be
the
so
gist.
straightforward like that, but that's basically what it comes down to. I mean, there's no way to really 100% control what your members do with the content once they download it.
Yeah. Okay, next question, and from Ben again, I think the same one. Tracking tokens implementation on custom script rule engine. Is there any plan for that? Most platforms out there support tracking with a script. They often will need to purchase. They will need purchase value to be posted back in order for us to see the profit and loss on the campaign performance. Ben has been in this game for quite a while, so I'm pretty sure he understands a lot about tracking and campaign structuring for how someone gets the value offer and that kind of stuff. So he's probably asking quite complex questions that some people are like, oh, wow, this is way above my head. But this is a little bit different again. I don't think we haven't implemented this kind of stuff with the tracking tokens that are returning different values dynamically in parameters and things. I'm guessing in the URLs. I think this question overall was regarding if we're sending back data and dynamic stuff into URLs after purchase. I'm not sure if your question here, Ben, was even related to like how we do checkouts and stuff, but it's probably a question we best to get with you in a chat and go through. But what I like the value of these three questions are all based around like what Ben is doing, what he's trying to do. So he's probably at a stage that's different to a lot of other people who just want to create a product, put it out there and sell it. He's probably driving traffic. He then wants to work out the value of the traffic, stuff that's being what's profitable, what's not of different campaigns. And usually when you get technical with tracking and analytics, that's how you figure out what works and what doesn't. But he's probably at a very different stage to most people in their sort of process of selling online products. I mean, this question, I couldn't answer this one really. I don't know about you, Kev. It's really based off posting back different values and dynamically.
My head swirls in many different directions trying to read that.
Yeah.
So.
We should bring this one into an advanced Q&A session. Ben, we'll come back to this one. I kind of know what you're trying to do, I think, but we'll swing back to that one because it's all about, quite advanced stuff. Okay, let's go on to another. I need a form to collect phone number with international format or country selector. I haven't found a way. Or that is from Christian. Double check that was the right. Let me just load up my questions. Well, you can do forms. You can create any kind of a form in OptimizePress. We don't do any number validation yet, right? I'm right in saying that, aren't I, Kev? We don't. Just bring up.
It's just a text field, so there's not. I mean, anything goes
number,
basically. So we'd have to add a proper phone number field and then have some way to, like you said, be able to have to check. You have to something.
Yeah, because it has to check the number of digits based off the country and the code. Yeah, so I saw a platform the other day that only just rolled that out, and you look at the platform, you're like, wow, you've been out for years and you've only just figured that one out.
Right.
But it was just that's still a kind of a complex thing when it comes to forms that people are still trying to do. But Christian, if it's specific that you really need to have the correct international formatting, you could probably create a drop-down menu with all the different country values. You could create a drop-down menu with the different country codes on it, and then you just have another text field in the form where they put in their number. And usually you have to drop the 0 on that. So you'd probably have to do that manually or write some kind of, other kind of automation that done it. But the best way to do it is just have a basic form. If you specifically need international formatting or the country, you could have them sort of select it in a drop-down menu within that same form. So you could have it above the phone numbers to say, choose your country, and then you'd have to input all those options. Usually the only thing with the country formatting is like, you can have such a huge drop-down form. Even if you go onto any site that has country numbers, it's a huge list. So it is possible to do it with just basic forms. You'd have to have a an option for country and in it you'd have like the format of the number, like +44 as the UK, and it's a United Kingdom, and then below that you would have the number, which is be a text field, and that would do it. It's probably not something if we get into forms in a minute, I could come back to that question, but that's how I do it, Kev. I guess that's the easy way.
Yeah, I'm not sure if our contact or opt-in forms do that. If you know a way, then
would it not be? I'd go an opt-in form with a custom field. I would just use an opt-in form, and create a custom form field.
Okay.
So I'd have custom fields within my email provider. So that'd be the way I'd do it. And then you're putting the data in just through like a custom field. That's the only way I think I could do it. I wouldn't try it with contact forms. And then alternatively, if it was, if something you really required, then I'd even look at using the hosted form from the mail service if possible, because they might have a number format field already.
Yeah, a lot of them do that, but the problem is how they handle those through the API. Not every service has a way for us to pull stuff like that in.
Oh yeah, so pulling it in is different. Yes. Sorry, what I mean is I'd use their form just for the whole thing to collect everything. Yeah. Rather, if it's something so specific. The key thing, a lot of this stuff is that don't spend too much time trying to do something that you can spend hours trying to figure something out. Hours, and I've spent days trying to figure things out, and then I realized the amount of people that end up coming to and using the thing that you're trying to create, it was a waste of time. So you pick the easiest route for whatever you're trying to do straight away. This one's from Stephen. I'd like to add a scrolling testimonial plugin, but the ones I've tried with OptimizePress crash the site. Can you recommend one that does work? I can't, but you might know of some, Kev. I know there's a slideshow plugin, but that wouldn't. You create images, but
we have
I don't know if you know any.
Something on OptimizePress. Not like an element, but I mean on our OptimizePress.com, we're sliding something. I think it's Smart Slider 3 or something that we're using. You may want to check into that, Stephen.
Yeah, I can dig up and have a look in there while I'll have a look in the back end and double check what one it is.
Yeah, it's just smartslider3.com is, that's okay. I checked on that the other day because somebody was asking, and we are using that slider on OptimizePress.com on the homepage for something. Okay. I think it is for testimonials, but I'm not sure. But we are using that slider. It doesn't crash our site, so maybe something like that you could look into.
Yeah, usually check the host and see what let me just switch my screens here. I'll see. I was going to find if I could show it. Is it on the main homepage? Do you know, Kev?
Yeah, OptimizePress.com.
Okay, let's have a quick look. So hopefully, Stephen, write that one down, or anyone else, if you want a sliding testimonial plugin. I'm guessing it's going to be down towards the bottom here. Something going on. Yeah, right there. Here. No,
for the template.
Okay, it's possibly that same one then. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Smart Slider 3. I actually looked.
That looks like text.
I looked at it yesterday, and that was the one we were using there. Yeah. I don't have login access to that site, but I have a way of looking in the site code to see what plugins, and that was on there. Brilliant. So I ran.
There you go then. That one.
I ran the free one on a site here, and it worked fine. So I think that's the solution.
Yeah, usually if it's crashing, I would say check all your other plugins. Also check your hosting and check make sure you got an up-to-date version of WordPress as well. If anything's crashing on any site, always disable all your plugins and then turn on the one plugin that you think is causing the problem, and then see if it crashes. That's usually a way process of elimination to figure out which plugin's causing the problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, this is from Jessera. How do you use a button to open more text, and where do I create and store this additional text? Thank you for your effort and gratitude in having us learners participate here. Danka, no problem. I'm guessing for this one, it must be the expand, show and hide text for a button rather than even a button using text. I'm assuming for that. Kev? Unless you read it differently.
I would use the overlay element or tabs element, because those can be buttons too. And then it would trigger that pop up. I'm just not sure how they want the text to show after the button.
Yes, so the tabs element, is that not, that switches the content below as such, right?
Yeah, so you would have a default tab, and then they could switch it to other ones.
Yeah, okay, so button to open more text. And how do I create and store this additional text? Okay, well, we'll look at the tabs element to do that. You could also use the toggle element, like the FAQ element, which expands the text below.
Yes, that too.
And that's one to look at.
Yeah, there's quite a few ways to do that. So.
Yeah, there's also the switcher, which completely switches like a whole row, right? That's another one. This is where we have there's another questions in there, was there? No. Okay, right, let's get this open.
Interested.
Okay, nice. So let's go into, you said tabs element, Kev, so let's drop that one on here. And you can see my cursor. Can you see my cursor, Kev? Just checking I'm in the right video mode.
Right.
Just move it around there. Yeah. Okay, let's drop that in.
For any of you posting questions in the chat, we're marking them as questions, and we'll get to them towards the end of the webinar here.
Yeah, I am. Something's painfully slow for me there. I'm wondering if I've got too much on this page, but I might delete this whole row. Let's keep a clean page here. So sorry guys, I just dropped the tab element in, but I want to minimize this page a bit. It seems to be slow. I think it's just because I'm streaming. So this is the tabs element. So was it Jezra who asked? You can switch your content like that. These are the buttons, and you click on them and edit them. So if I zoom in, you can all see that. This is just text. You just click on this. You can type anything you like. Do that.
You can drop any element also inside the tab.
Yeah. But there's some text. Sorry, my machine is running really low. And you can change the color based off if they're active or not active. And then below here, this tab area here, you can go and get another element. Let's say something even like video. So let's pick a video on the left. Down here, we can drop that into tab 2. And then you can style that and see how it wants to, change the layout and styling and everything of that element inside that tab, and then do the same for all of them. So that's one way you can show and hide text. You see that's gone quite big. Let's just get rid of that to keep it small. And the other one, show and hide, would be, I would go FAQs, because that does a similar toggle. I'll drop that underneath. And switcher, we could use the switcher as well.
Yeah, and all these elements basically work similar. Now, the FAQ element will only allow you to have text, but you could also use what we call the content toggle element.
That's the one.
Which is basically the same as the FAQ, but you can drop any elements in there.
There you go. So thanks for that, Kev. So this is the FAQ. So this is just text based off this, and you can change the styling. You change the icon over on the right. Borders, spacing, colors, everything, font styles, you can change it all. And then the other one that Kev's talking about is content toggle, which is this one. Drag and drop that. And this, again, like the tabbed one above, you can put videos into it, or even opt-in forms and images and content, all other content really, which is quite nice. It actually allows you to create quite content-rich pages that actually look quite minimal. So people have to click and expand. But inside of your content block here, you can actually drop in other elements, like let's drop in a button like so. Hopefully my machine will speed its life up. Yes, that answers that one. Anyone who wants to do sort of toggles or any type of text display buttons that just show more text on the screen, so you can see, look, that one's done, and you could then align it if you wanted to on the left, depending on the content you've got inside. That whole toggle content. There you go. Jasara, thank you. This one's from Andrea. I'm struggling to set up my membership site and courses. I don't think they are playing nicely together. also need a workaround for constant contact, or can I send emails inside of the members area? You can't send emails from inside the members area. So you'd need a mail program for plugin for WordPress. There are free ones. If you're looking from reading that into workaround for constant contact, so either you're not getting your leads put onto constant contact, I'm assuming, for that. So that's probably something we'd need to look at a bit deeper to see why the API is not connecting. We do integrate with constant contact.
Yeah, Andrea's got a ticket open with me, and I'm helping her with some of this stuff. The constant contact, I think we might have a little bug there in the optimized lead that she was trying to use. So there's
depending on how many leads she's got and how long she's had constant contact. There's some other great email providers out there that are very simple and easy to run. Constant Contact has been around for a long time though, so it is, it's still a reputable company. So yeah, I'm kind of at a point in my life, I think, where if I have any technical problems with a piece of software and it doesn't talk to something, I just switch it, and I'll just happily move everything away. Different with email providers, because obviously you've built up your reputation with that sender, which you obviously don't want to change it when you've got a big list and you're emailing regularly. However, if something doesn't talk nicely, I'm at the point where I just don't have the time for waiting for companies to switch.
It's also important to have a good web host too, so you don't have as many issues.
Yeah. So this one, struggling to set up a membership site and courses. I'm not sure if she's asked that in the question. I mean, we've got a webinar all about Optimize Mentor. We've got a course in the OptimizePress University that's all about how to set up courses using Optimize Mentor and turning it into a membership site or a course platform. However, membership site courses, it's exactly the same thing. They're delivered online. Either someone pays one-off and accesses the whole thing, or they pay you monthly and access more training you're doing, or they pay you monthly and you drip out content. So they're exactly the same thing. What exactly you're struggling with, Andrea, I don't know. Whether it's actually building it, the content, the course layout. But I'd say go through that course in university, because it's quite in depth on just sort of using the templates we've got, the basic templates that have nice layouts for courses, and you can start building your lessons and things. And it's got all the dynamic elements you can pull in from your course structure. So that's a hard one to answer. I don't know exactly what you're struggling with the course and the membership site, but are they not playing together nicely with constant contact? And possibly that's the thing. So not very much else I can say on that one. I'll leave it. If she's got, or he or she's got a ticket open, what are constant contact alternatives? I don't mind moving. I'm using BirdSend at the moment, which is I love it. But yeah, there's Andrea's asked that in the chat. Sorry, that's why I just said that. Active Campaign, is good. Drip's quite good. You've got to really find something that you like using, that you're happy to use, and it's good for you. So if Constant Contact, you're happy with it, then go ahead, keep with it. But what I find is some of the older platforms are still trying to catch up with the newer platforms that are now being coded on newer languages. They're coming out with better functions, the functions to use them, and the integrations they start connecting with, they're just getting better and better, quicker. There's newer platforms coming out. Like BirdSend is amazing what it's done so quickly, and comparing it to ones that have been around for years and years and years, and some of them have had huge funding, and they still can't even fix bugs or get out new features. Probably because they're trying to satisfy their VCs, but it's I'm at a point where I just kind of, if they can't fix it and it's not talking to the platform I'm using, I just go simple and I go, right, I'll move. So I would test them all before you test them, see what you like the user interfaces. Kev, you're Active Campaign man, aren't you? I think that's
I like that one.
And Drip's nice as well.
I like Aweber's made a lot of progress lately, but they still don't really have very good automation.
Yeah, they swung back with a much nicer interface and everything, but to me,
it's free now too, for up to 500 contacts, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
It used to be $19 a month 20 years ago when I first signed up.
Yeah, I got a letter from them when I first signed up. That's how long ago when I
Oh
joined them.
yeah,
So
I
it's
think
probably
I think I got something like that.
15 years ago. Yeah, a long time ago. I used to get a letter through when you first joined, and I'm in the UK and I got it. But yeah, it was. But then they just didn't keep up with the whole sort of speed tagging, segmenting was changing, and then. So yes. Anyway, try that one out, Andrea. This is from Michelle. My site is optimized for desktop viewing, but not mobile phone. What plugin, if any, do you suggest to help with that? Well, first, would probably say no plugin to help with that, but that depends. Assuming your site is built with OptimizePress, do you think I should have an optimization plugin activated in addition to what OptimizePress offers? Is there a way for me to check if my plugins are doing the same thing? Well, we have an optimization for speed built into OptimizePress, and we have mobile optimization built into your pages that you build. So you don't need any plugin for mobile optimization unless you're trying to do something really specific. But all you have to do, so how OptimizePress works, whenever you design the page, it writes style sheets for 3 devices. I'm trying to keep this really simple. So for example, when you create this text here, it's also writing a mobile version and a tablet version. And to see it, we just click on this little icon at the top here, and then we choose whether we want tablet or mobile. So let's just go to mobile. And once it switches into mobile, what it allows us to do is edit the styles on this page, things like the text, the font sizes, the colors and things. This will swing back in a minute to the correct. It's still
I
loading.
think you have your browser zoomed out or something.
Oh yeah,
I saw
no,
that
it's
issue the
still.
other day when I was doing something. My browser was at 90% instead of 100%.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, I got you. See, this is why we have Kev on these webinars. Okay, it just switched back, look, and now I've gone back to desktop. Yeah, so in here, when you style this page, it writes the style sheet for the mobile behind the scenes. Now, what I've just switched it back to desktop there, thinking I didn't let it. I'm going to see if while this is going on, I'm going to open up another browser and see if I can just get into there as well. So that's desktop. I'm not zoomed in, so that, okay, I was. Let's go to mobile. And what you can do is you can style in here, and it doesn't affect the desktop and mobile layout. Only thing that changes is actually the copy, the wording. If you change the wording, that does change across both devices. So Michelle, you don't need any other plugins for optimizing the look and the layout of the pages. The builder will do that for you. I am going to see if I can open up another browser as well for this, because this is quite annoying. So let me just bring up Firefox here. I'm going to do that on the other monitor. Yeah, so you just go in and style this. Once this page decides to fix itself and style, we will be up and running. Yeah, so you don't need any plugins. Kev, I don't know if you want to show anything with the optimization, and I will just quickly see if I can get access on another site. But I'm going to load up Firefox here because Chrome is. So I was saying in here, Michelle, you can edit everything in here with the editor, like your font styles, your colors, everything, and it'll only stay the same like this on this device layout. So on for mobile, for example, and you can change the spacing, you can change your button sizes, everything. Anything you do in this area when it's switched from here into mobile, it stays like that for mobile. Apart from the words, that's the only thing that will change through all the devices. So in here, for example, if we were to, remove all the spacing, change the padding, so you had different spacing on the side and the margins, all that kind of stuff. Anything you do on mobile will stay like that on mobile. And then when you switch it back to desktop, from here, I'll just do this now anyway. So we'll switch it back to desktop. It's probably going to take a few minutes, but once you do that, well, it does it now. Once it goes, you can actually see it's already gone back to the same size that it was. Really, really slow, that, isn't it? So that should answer that question. Let's have a look. So desktop viewing, yeah. So it's optimized for desktop. So always, whenever you're building a page, always switch it into the mobile layout, and then optimize it and style it again for your mobile view, and also do tablet as well. So don't use any plugins for that. And the optimization stuff, you don't need any plugins for that either. Because what I'll do is I will show you that in the back end.
Building the page, I usually recommend building it in the desktop and get it the way you want, and then look at the tablet mode, make adjustments there, and then look at the mobile view and make any adjustments there. A lot of times what I find is mostly everything works fine, and you may have to change some padding and spacing and font sizes, and maybe how some things, like how some columns stack or not, and then other than that, it's not really too many changes that you would really have to make.
No. Just padding and styling and right. Let's ditch this browser. Let's get rid of that. Goodbye, Chrome. If it's not working, you just move. You go on to something else. Right. Let's go into this one. Yes. So hopefully that answers that. Michelle, go through, check out the optimize. Oh, sorry, I was going to show you the optimization, and now I've just gone and loaded that up. But let's kill that. The optimization settings inside OptimizePress work for completely speeding up your site in terms of deferring JavaScript, controlling what loads on a page and when, lots of different stuff. So inside of OptimizePress, you've got the tab here, look, optimizations. I'll just click there. So optimizations. In here, these are all the different optimizations you can start setting. So if you're not familiar with any of this, don't go into here yet. And usually you would only apply all these settings once you've finished your design, you're happy with how everything looks, because then you can start choosing how you want assets to load. Google Fonts, image optimization, probably turn this one on because it'll automatically now convert images to WebP format, which are a factor in SEO now as well. But you've got things like viewport, progressive images, lazy loading, and video facade. So you can do a lot with this optimization, which is really powerful. And if you don't know what you're doing and just turn on everything, you might see a few things weird happening. Only if you've got also caching set up on your hosts. These are kind of things you've got to look at first. But some of the basic ones will be things like deferring JavaScripts that you've got here, like delaying JavaScript. What that means is it means the JavaScript loads at the bottom of the page as such and not at the top. So what it's trying to do is load later to speed up the pages. And you can do things with your CSS and stuff. So this is a whole optimization dashboard for improving the speed and optimizing your sites. Again, you don't need any plugins. And also you probably want to turn off any other plugins if you're going to use this as well. So if you have other caching plugins, things like that, disable those if you're going to come in here and play with this. And also check if you've already got those set up and running. You might want to double check all the settings and things you've got on those.
Yeah,
okay, let's go on.
Usually,
sorry, Kev, go
all
on.
you need, aside from our optimization settings, is just a basic cache plugin. So, like for example, on SiteGround, a lot of you have the SG Optimizer plugin.
Yeah.
So turn off all of the front end stuff and all the optimizations there, and just have the I think they call it dynamic cache. Just have that on. You don't need anything else from them. Just use our settings.
Yeah. I mean, until your site's getting, at least, if you're getting 1,000 hits a day, then you should be worrying about it. Obviously, it's good to get it if you're getting 500, and if you get about 500 hits a day on your site, it's definitely worth starting to look more deeper into the optimization. If you've built your site up to, a lot of these factors will actually, they can play a factor in the whole SEO and everything. So the quicker your site, it can rank, but you've got to be putting out a lot of content. But it's once you start getting regular traffic, then start looking at the optimization. Don't worry about optimizing a site too much if it's the first thing you're doing, only because people spend so much time worrying about this kind of stuff, they won't even publish a blog post every week because they're too worried about learning about optimization and just never do anything. That's my advice for that bit. But if you're getting lots of traffic, if you're getting at least you're starting hitting hundreds up to 500 hits a day, definitely start looking at optimizing things, especially with caching CSS and JavaScript files and other assets on your site. Okay, here's another one. This is from Nuno. It says, hi, I have this website, for example, NAME.pt. I don't know why the other pages appear with the index.php in the middle of the site's page. Examples are below. So like his about page, or his or her, about page is name/index.php. /about, and the same for the contact page. So it's the website name, index.php, and then the contact afterwards. So when you first, I can take this one, Kev, unless you want to answer this. It's
If you
quite a
know the
technical
answer,
one. I
go
know
for
you
it,
might
man.
want to jump in.
It's
Yeah.
part of the permalink
Yeah. So if
setup.
you're just setting up your site, the first time you're setting up your site, we do have this in the installation video of OptimizePress. When you first set up, you've got to make sure you're using custom structure or post name structure. Well, actually, the custom structure is exactly the same. What's happened is Nunu is using he or she has got the it looks like they've got the index page somewhere set. I'm trying to think
It
where
would
they
be
have
in the custom
index.php.
structure.
Yeah, they've got it. They've probably got it here, and it says index.php. Then it's a / post name.
Right.
Just get rid of if you've got index.php here, because it's probably the host to put that in, right, Kev?
Yeah, usually that happens. If they just go and select post name and then save the settings, it'll change it to where it needs to be.
Yeah. So if you've got something in there like that, click on post name, that'll change it, and then you can actually leave it as post name. It's exactly the same as custom structure. So post name is what you want to have, because then it means every page you create generates this post URL that looks like that. Okay, so I'll just zoom in for people. So make sure you've got post name set. That is in settings, permalink. Okay, so down on the left here, settings, and then permalinks. Okay, so make sure you've got that. They're the questions we like to answer. only on some weeks. Let's go on. Jason, can I add breadcrumbs to pages and posts site-wide? Good question. I know how I would do it. What would you do, Kev?
Well, I only know how to edit through the element we have, but I think Yoast SEO has some way of doing some kind of setup, but I'm not sure how that works.
Yeah, I was just going to say use a global element and create a breadcrumb.
Yeah,
use the breadcrumb element in the global elements. So, Jason, this is the way I would do it. I'd build a global element go into your page, create the global element, and save it. And that might just be called breadcrumb. So once you save it, it'll appear here. So in the page, just add the I might as well go and do it. So just add the actual. Let's see how much quicker Firefox is. So in the page, add the element called global elements, and then inside that, put in. Start again. You'd put a row in, and then inside the row, you'd put the breadcrumb element. Style it to look exactly how you want it to look, and make sure it's, exactly what you want it to look like. And then you save that row as a global element, and then you can use that global element in any page on your site. And because it's global, you only have to change it once in the one place, and it will always apply across your entire site. So, for example, let's take this out here. We have breadcrumb like this. I think I just deleted the entire row, so sorry about that. Let's just go back and get rid of the button. Oh no, okay, there we go. So breadcrumb, drop the breadcrumb in, style the breadcrumb however you want it to look. Remember, because if this page is not if this is not a child page of another parent page, you're not going to see any other breadcrumbs. So remember that if you're not seeing anything, that's why. You can then change the separator icon, which is like the arrow or whatever you want it to be. You can style it up, the spacing. Probably worth doing it on a child page. And once that's done, if this was the section, if I just say we minimize this a bit like that, and then what we can do, if we right click on it, you can see I've right clicked. Let's go back. Sorry, I'm zooming right in there, making sure everyone can see that. And then you choose this option, mark element as global. So I've right clicked on the section. You can actually right click on a row as well. It could be the row. Okay, so I've just done it on the full section. And you can mark element as global. It loads up this little wizard. And then from here, once you save this, it'll go into that global element setting which is inside the dashboard, which I just had open. And inside there, it has the all the global elements that you make. So we could just call this, if it was a particular style of breadcrumb you wanted to use, click submit. That will then save it. Now, once you've saved it, it gets saved in the dashboard, the global elements dashboard. Let's say you're now working on a different page. let's just delete this for now. So we delete that from there. So let's say you're now working on a completely different page and you wanted to have your breadcrumb, your global element breadcrumb. You go to globals here and you can see, look, there's that one we just saved. Pick it up, drop it on the page, and that will be now there to use on that page. And you can unlock these anytime. So you can right click and you can unlock it. And you can edit them to make changes to them, and it applies that across all of your pages that use that global element. So that's how I would do it. And they work for anything, everyone. If you want to use those, you can use them for webinars and opt-in forms and like notices, call to action banners and things, footers. If you want to build a really nice custom footer on your site, and then you could just edit it once, and it edits across the entire every page is using the global element. So it's a really powerful tool to have, actually, if you want to customize. If you have lots of pages and you want a certain section to be customizable. And they're also brilliant for like having like banners for up and coming webinars and things like that, and you want to drop them on the bottom of a page. So that's that one. Linda, can I point domains towards other domains towards my main website? Yes, you can. Depends how you do it. You can point them through A records, but you have to have the A record on your add the domain on your host. So depending on your host, the host might have limited to how many domains you can have on your like website plan. But it depends if you have a DNS manager, you have to. If you have more than one domain, usually you have to point it over and assign it to an A record, rather than just using the redirect option. That's the other way, is using a 301 redirect or a 302 redirect. Depends if it's a permanent redirect or a temporary redirect. That's the quickest way, I guess, using a redirect option inside your inside your domain name control panel. That's the only two ways, right, Kev? I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, you just pretty much have to redirect it to whatever page on your site.
Yeah.
Because something like domain masking, where the forwarded domain would stay on the browser, it's not going to recognize the licensing for OptimizePress. So you just have to forward it to your main website, basically.
Yeah, I guess in this example, you might want to be forwarding it like to a funnel. You might have a particular name for a product or something, and you've probably built a custom sales page.
Exactly.
I'm assuming that would be one way to use it. Yeah, so that's common. People will build a sales page on their primary site, but then just send a different domain name to it. Just one thing to think about when you do that is that because the URL changes, or if it's not being masked, it will change and can confuse people. So they go, well, I just typed in this URL, but now I'm on a website called this, and they might suspect it as being suspicious. So it's definitely something to consider on your conversions. That might impact your conversions. So, let's go on. Do you have an online course for OptimizePress from Ren? We have lots of OptimizePress training. Best one to get started, Kev, webinar-wise, which I'd say we've got, one of the courses would be, but we have, so I'll bring up, let me just go.
Yeah, it really depends on if you're just getting started, or if you want to learn funnels or checkouts or that kind of stuff. The best thing I could suggest is to first just go to our documentation site, because you can find a lot of stuff there. And then we have the universities.
So we've got courses on funnels, we've got webinars on upsells and downsells, and webinars on funnels, courses on membership sites. We've got more courses coming, but yeah, that's Ren, that's a hard one to answer specifically on what you want to learn. If it's getting started, come into the Learning Center here. The other, obviously, also our support, because that we have tutorials in there based off what you're trying to do in support. So if you're using the latest version here, you can come in here and then literally choose, what is it you're trying to learn? Is it Optimize Mentor? Is it OptimizePress? Is it funnels? Is it the builder itself? Is it checkouts? Also, things to note when you're inside the editor. If I go down here, oops, I'm just going to zoom in. You can hover over these elements on the left and click on this question mark, and that will then open a video based on the training for that particular element. So depending on what you're trying to learn, again, it's there's lots of different ways to get to where you want to go. So you hover over this little question mark for each element, and there'll be a training video on it. I'm pretty sure all of them have been done, but if not, there'll be a written article. So that's another way. So yes, really depends on what level or what point you're at. There's videos in here. If you're trying to do something specific within a funnel, then I'd go into the funnel training, and then watch that, and then go into our OptimizePress University and look at the courses and the on-demand webinars. So they're all the webinars we've done prior, like all last year and prior to that were all specific training about certain, certain ways you can use a feature in OptimizePress for marketing. So like sales or thank you page training, thank you page webinar is quite good if you're trying to turn your thank you pages, into like a sales machine and such. We're using them to sell from, but there's different training on different things. So if you want to tell us something specific on that one, we will maybe direct you exactly where to go. But the university's got loads of training and loads of courses. This is from Nolan. I'm keeping conscious of time here, so we're 4 minutes to 9. How do we customize the confirmation email for admins to receive after the product is purchased? I noticed an HTML template, but I'm curious if there's any additional examples of how users have structured this confirmation email. Great question.
It's really just a basic confirmation email. It's not really designed to be customized to have 20 different things in it. It's just to say, hey, here's a sale from this, customer or something like that. So
yeah,
it's not designed to be like 100% customizable. We may do that in the future, but I mean, if you know HTML, you can go change it if you want to, but it's not something really would want to guide you on, because if you mess it up, then you lose all that customization.
So this is that. Is this the confirmation one?
No, the admin notification for new and recurring orders.
Oh, yeah.
That's an HTML template.
Yeah. So what was that? Nolan, was that? Yeah, so the customer confirmation email for admin. So Nolan, you can edit this, but if it's, unless there's, I'm assuming there's something specific you want to have in that email that's, I guess it's just too many clicks for you to come in here and find it. I get that completely as well. There might be something you want to display in that email so that you don't have to log into your site each time and so on. So there are certain variables you can use in it. You can see like we've got things like this one here which says email address, but you'd have to use that. I guess without knowing exactly what you're trying to show in it, then that's hard to answer. I'm not sure if Nolan is on the webinar, but that might be worth reaching out and asking. Let's just have a look to seeing if Nolan's on here. You could reach out and ask us specifically what you're trying to add, and we can tell you if it's possible, if that variable exists. I don't know if we have a list of these variables for these emails. Do we, Kev? I don't think.
I think there's one for the invoice and receipt emails, but I'm not. I think if you go into, there's a guide right there at the bottom of that list.
Oh, right. Yes. Does that show all the variables? Yeah. I remember seeing them for.
But they don't. Okay, yeah. They don't work on every single email template. There's specific ones for specific templates.
Okay. There you go.
But
yes. So good question, Nolan. Next, if you can tell us specifically, or we'll reach out and find out exactly what it is. So yes, you can do them. You can edit them. It's probably a piece of data that Nolan wants to have in that email to save them having to log in, I guess, all the time and check it or put their own custom thing in. So we'll come back to that one. So you can edit them. If you're playing around with this, if you're doing this, the most common one is the confirmation one here. This is what the customer gets. So that's the one you want to play around with and edit and reword and put links in and stuff to provide as much information when someone purchases from you. If you're using optimized checkouts, that's what this email is here. Okay. So just wanted to show you why we're in there. I'm assuming if you don't have optimized checkouts, by the way, that's part of the OptimizePress suite. So this is all part of the suite of checkout tools. And this is one of those main emails that you will definitely want to customize if you're selling products with optimized checkouts. Let's switch back. This is John. how does OP3 integrate with an email list, say Mailchimp, when sales are made so that records and email sequences can happen? Aha. Let's have a look. So firstly, you've got to make sure you've got your email integrated. To come into integrations, I'm going to open that in a new window. You noticed how fast this Firefox is running. It's great. So integrations here, make sure you've hooked up your integration, whatever it is you're using. And then, let me get this right. This was for buyer emails, right? So, right, in case it doesn't matter. Okay, so integrate your email list with Mailchimp when sales are made. So inside of Optimized Checkouts, if I go back to Checkouts here, once you create a product, the product, you can set rules for a product so that it integrates with your email provider. So inside here, we have integration rules. And if I click on that, I let it load up. So here, you see, we've got integration rules. So what you would do is once you've done your integration for your mail provider, you create a rule here that says what's happened and then to add them to your list. So if I go to add rule, for example, this one, and you could just say, just call that buyer. So you can see we've got these different trigger actions that happen. So depending on what the user has done on your site, you can see here different products, payments failed, subscription payments, payment plan completed. These are all different rules, or sorry, these are different triggers. So when you choose a trigger, you then choose an integration service. And then once you have the integration service, you would choose the sequence that you want to put them on inside of your email provider. So you would set up your sequences, your tagging. Some of them will have different options. And once you create your tagging and your rules in here, you can see this one showing forms. This is campaign refinery. Demio will be different because that's for events, so that's for webinars. So you would come in here, choose your integration service, choose either the sequence or tagging, and then based off what you choose here, usually the automation then happens inside of your mail provider. So all you're doing here is saying, once the payment is successful, send this customer details to BirdSend or my email provider, and then put them onto this action, this sequence, or this tag. And then typically inside your mail provider, you would say, once a user, you create an automation that says, once a user is added to X or added this tag, start this sequence. So this bit sends the triggers over to your mail provider. Your mail provider will then kicks off the automations that you've built in. So hopefully that one helps, John. So that's how you do it for your products, obviously for sales that are made. So make sure you've got your integration set up and then go through there. I've not missed anything there, have I, Kev? That was definitely right. Let's see.
Yeah, it sounded pretty good.
You're still with us.
Yep, I was just trying to look up something here for somebody. So.
Yeah, you're probably answering questions there in chat.
Yeah.
Okay, Rick says, any future plans for cloud sites for speed, also more site options at better pricing? Was this the right question I pulled in?
Yeah.
Future plans for
Basically,
cloud sites.
he's asking if we're going to do a hosted version of OptimizePress. I think we've looked into that and maybe put it into a category of something we're going to look into later. I don't think we've totally ruled that out, but it's quite complex of a setup, and we want to make sure we do it right if we're going to do it. But we're not looking into doing that this year, or I don't know about next year or the year after, but I mean, we may do something like that, but it's not on the short term, I don't think.
Yeah. Okay. So there you go, Rick. I was wondering that if it was thinking of cloud-based. I was either thinking hosted on the cloud, so like a CDN version.
Yeah, I mean, I would suggest just going like the Cloudways or something and have it in your own cloud. It's probably cheaper that way anyways. I mean, if OptimizePress has to manage everything, it's going to cost some money. So, I mean, if you're looking at spending $100 a month, I mean, I'm sure that's probably what a lot of cloud sites will do. I don't maybe ClickFunnels, I hate to say that word honestly, but I mean, they host everything for you, but look at the price they charge. I mean, they're paying for the premium hosting for you. They're paying for the speed optimizations and everything on their end. You don't have to update plugins or anything, but it's a major cost. I mean, do you really want OptimizePress to cost that much too? I mean, that's basically what you're asking us for when you ask for this. That's my opinion, anyways. I mean, I don't really like comparing to other platforms because OptimizePress is designed to do its own different thing. It's not the same thing as other platforms, so we do things differently. We try to watch out for the price. We know you guys want to save money, and we know you want value, and we can't really provide that and then host your sites for you. That's basically, what it comes down to. We want to do something like that unless we can make it affordable. If we can't do that, then there's no point in us doing that, really.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like Amazon, you can get Amazon hosts $35 a month.
Right.
You can get that through Cloudways if you want. If the speed's the thing you're after, there's plenty of good hosts that you can host any WordPress site on, and it'll run like lightning. But it depends how much you want to pay. So yeah, Kev mentioned Cloudways there. They're like a how can I describe it? They're like a server broker as such. They're like the middleman that makes server life really easy. You don't have any of this sort of Windows control panels and PHP control panels things. You just have a raw server. You can install WordPress on it, and usually it runs really fast.
Yeah, Cloudways, they basically built an app where you can sign up for a couple. They got different options of hosts like Amazon and Vultr and some other ones that you can sign up for. They basically, you're using that hosting and you're using their app to control WordPress. And they make it pretty easy, but it can still be kind of complex. So it's not for everybody. So, I mean, I definitely can understand why somebody would ask us for cloud hosting on our end, because they just want somebody to manage it for them. But, I mean, if you're willing to pay the price for it, I mean, it's something that we definitely want to look into. It's just not really a priority because our priority right now is the features that we're working on in OptimizePress. We're primarily a WordPress plugin, so our space isn't really cloud hosting.
Yeah, very much. It's such a big topic, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I mean, I think it would be pretty cool if we had something like that, though.
Yeah. So, I think, I mean, it probably will go that way, but then it's not WordPress.
Yeah, pretty much.
Maybe it'll just be optimized. Okay, there's one more question here that we actually. I'm conscious of time. There's still questions I know that some of you have submitted that we haven't got round to yet. There's probably like another 5, and I've already seen 10 questions in the chat here. Last one here. Email forms in the funnel. I've been getting inconsistent results. What's the best way to get custom fields added? I'm integrating with Mailchimp, but happy to be guided. Otherwise, Ted. Yeah, email forms in funnels. I've been getting inconsistent results. So I'm assuming you mean the conversion results based off the leads you're getting, Ted, and what's showing in funnels. I'm thinking that might be that. I know I'm not a fan of Mailchimp personally. I've just never liked the user interface. I don't know if that. I don't think that is actually a problem here. But if you get Ted, I think Ted was on. Yay. Okay. He's okay. So I knew Ted was on here. I saw the name. He posted in chat. Yay. I mean, showing in funnels. What's showing in funnels? So I'm guessing what's showing in funnels is not the same results that you're seeing inside of Mailchimp. So you're probably seeing conversion in funnels, and then you're not seeing that in Mailchimp. Thank you for being specific. That really helps. My guess would be that we'd probably want to dig into that deeper. But I'm also wondering if the way you've got the funnel hooked up, if you're not using the correct flow in the thank you page of the funnel. So if you're not letting the funnel go on to the next step, and maybe you've set it to redirect within the form, or you're doing something different with the redirect after they opt in, that might be a case. So you're either getting the lead in Mailchimp, but you're not seeing the conversion in funnels. Possibly that. It's more design in the. Okay, so is it okay? So it's the email form. So if it's if it's the email form design, then all you really want to do is do the integration with Mailchimp inside of OptimizePress, and then do the rest of the styling inside of. Doesn't matter if you're in a funnel or if you're on a landing page. The form itself is exactly the same. So make sure you come into here again and add Mailchimp in to here. Was there not some bug recently, Kev, with APIs of Mailchimp, or was there just 2 versions now? Isn't there authentication?
I don't think
And
there's really been any changes there.
No,
but
or was there not? I thought
Ted, if there's a technical issue that we need to look into for you, we'd be happy to do that, but that would need to go through a support ticket so we can properly look into that.
Dig into it.
Is that what's going on, or is it?
We've got 2 though, haven't we, Kev? We've got this one,
well,
authentication, and
it doesn't matter which way you integrate. The integration will work the same between either one.
So that will still, yeah. So Ted, when you're inside, so do that integration first, and then come into here, and I just deleted all the opt-in forms to style the opt-in form up. So just come in here and style it, and then start picking. Probably easier rather than styling it, unless you want to play around and you like getting your hands dirty with all the styling. It might be easier to pick a template that already has a style that you like, and then you use that, the styling from that template. But in terms of styling, are you trying to add more fields in it? I'm guessing. Did you say something about fields? I can't remember if you said form fields there. Okay, so the best way to get custom fields, yes, is probably pulling the custom fields in from Mailchimp.
I do know those have to be set up in Mailchimp as a text field.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to do drop downs and selects and phone number field from Mailchimp, those ain't going to pull in. You have to set them up as a text field. Now you can add drop downs and stuff in OptimizePress.
But you've got to have them first inside of there, right?
No, you would just map them to either a tag or a custom field, a text field in Mailchimp. So if you choose one of the integrations here, like BirdPen, if you go to the extra fields tab there in the middle at the top, you just click after you choose your list.
Yeah, the list. This one's not connected. Let me just. It was. I think it skips. It skips that one for Demia.
Yeah.
This one was hooked up.
Try
see if this one is fresh. No, let me go back. I'm gonna reload those. I might have one in HubSpot.
Doesn't look like you really have anything set up on that.
No, these demo accounts that we used keep. Here we go. HubSpot. So in here, you can build your custom field. Let's say it was number, and you've got an option for, it'd be custom field, right? We're not tagging. This is a drop down or checkbox or radio button, and then you've got the custom options so if you wanted to have 3 drop down menus. So would you map it here, you're saying, Kev, or would you actually map it?
Yeah, so basically you select the
these are the custom fields here, right, for what I'm pulling through now that I've got set in campaign refine. So that you'd see the same ones here for Mailchimp.
Exactly.
There you go, Ted. I have Mailchimp connected there in integration tabs. Brilliant. So make sure you got your custom text fields set up in Mailchimp.
Yeah. So what this would do is, so say you had favorite color, then these options for like label for option 1, label for option 2, you could say blue, red, green, orange, and then whatever option they select, it'll populate that custom field with the result of what they put on the form.
Yeah. So add them. Yeah, use text only as
you can't use checkboxes from Mailchimp. You can only set up a custom text field in Mailchimp and then map our checkboxes.
So you could map our checkbox to it.
Yeah.
But it has to be the field, not value. The field, whatever type, has to be a text field.
Hey Ted, I can make a video for you and email it to you if you like. I think we have your email address here. I can reach out to you here a little bit after the webinar is over and send that to you. Because I have Mailchimp on one of my test sites, but I'm not sure if it's a recent one. But I'm happy to do that for you. I know exactly what you need.
There you go, Ted. So as long as you've got that, it's the same for most email providers that are out there. The custom fields have to be set inside. But like Kev said specifically, Mailchimp has to be a text field. And then you can build these custom extra fields here that fires all the data into your email provider for that lead. So worth noting.
Let me see if I actually have my Mailchimp thing set up.
Okay, I'm conscious of time. We're quarter past. There's a lot of questions from people. I don't know if I'm going to get to the 10 we've got here. Ben said something about jump to element that's available in the button element. Yeah, the jump to element is available in anything actually, as long as if you can like highlight a bit of text. And sorry, you can't highlight a bit of text. If you're using, on that example, if you're using like the bullet list element, we can link up the button element here. I'm not sure what the question was from Markeith about, I think it was using the jump to element. This is actually really great for, so if you want to build like a sort of table of contents, or you want to have buttons that jump to various places of the page, come into here and choose this option called jump to element. And you'll see now you've got this option called select target. So what you're doing is you're selecting the target for where this button's going to go to. So you click on it, everything goes red on the screen now when you hover over. So if you scroll on down, might be easier if I show you here, look. You see this is red. So these are all the different, it's asking me to select a target. So I could say, right, I want to select this pricing box here. You click on that and it just gets selected with this link element here. So you just don't play around with anything else. That's all you have to do. Save it. If we preview that page, this button will now jump down. So if I preview, this button here will, I think it was this one, just jumps straight away down the page. I actually don't think it was that one, sorry. No, it must have been this one. Or did I have more buttons? Let's try that again. And that is my top button here. Link to element, jump to element, link, select target. That's all done. Let's preview again. Are you looking at Mailchimp, Kev?
Yes.
So this should jump. Is my page published? Let's check. The page is published. Jump to element. Let's go and do that again. So let's choose this one, select. Okay, didn't need to save. Just when I want to show something working that works for me every day, decides not to work. Let's have a look. Try again. Right, page is loaded. It might be because it's on this preview. I don't know why it shouldn't be. There's the form. It's not liking that. Can't believe that. So, well, that's how you do it, like Ben said. So I'm just checking I've got, I am completely up to date on this site. So I don't know what's going on there.
Marquis says he's got it to work.
All right.
Probably just some
not working on
caching
my site
thing on your site or something, Dave.
Yeah, it could be. I haven't cleared the cache on this for a while. So that's how you do it. He's got it to work. He, she, okay. So there's lots of questions here for everyone. I don't know if I even get to them. I'm conscious of time. We're 20 minutes over. I will rattle through some of them quickly. So there's Nonu says, how can I make a footer in my blog page? The one I have is my blog page. How can I make a footer in my blog page like the one I have? So if you're using the smart theme, you need to build a custom, you need to build your footer inside the smart theme for the blog. Can I make a footer in my blog page like the ones I have on my site? Yeah, so either on the blog page, usually the theme will use its own footer. So if you're using the smart theme, that's going to be slightly different because the smart theme has its own footer in it. So you probably would want to style your other footers similar to that because that can't be edited. You can have different layouts and you can have different column layouts, but it's not hugely flexible in terms of design. So what it might be best to do is get all your other pages looking like your blog footer page. To do that, I would use the global elements as well. So I'd build a footer and save it as a global element and then use that on all your pages. So that's what I do for that one. So Markeith says, is there a page advanced feature in OptimizePress? For example, clicking a button advanced. Yes, so that's what we just showed in that video. You've got that working. Nice. Daniel says, I think Daniel, Dave and Kev, I had a course created with Mentor. We're getting the login page for eventual customers to get into, and also log out is something I can't get my head around. And also integrating the forgot password and reset password page. Yeah, so I think this was Daniel I saw earlier. Daniel, we go back way back, I think from years ago. I think we've met in various conferences. The login page, there's an element for the login page, which is part of Optimize Mentor. There's a login element for that. That also has the forgot password element integrated with it, and the reset option. That's on the sign up page, I think, or the login page element. So when you're creating your course page, let me just open up this one again. There's a login element, and that will have the reset password stuff. So for the login, create a page and then use the login element, and then you can link that anywhere you like on the site for them to log in. And then once they're logged in, it's showing the logout link. Now, I think I cover this actually in the Optimize Mentor course, Daniel. If you go into OptimizePress University, I'm pretty sure I cover that, the login and logout. There's various different ways you can do it, because it's whether you want to have the link, whether you want to manually create the logout link that they click, or you want to like hide login. There's plugins that can allow you to hide login and logout. I'm pretty sure I cover that in the. I think I might have to be inside Optimize Mentor for this. Well, here we go. Login. Drag that in. So this is the login and sign up form. It's going to drop that over here by the looks of it. So let that just drop in. So inside here, this element has the reset stuff, the password reset, has the sign up as well. Okay, there you go. You can see down here we've got sign up and we've got password reset. And there's also this also was a toggle. This one actually isn't a toggle. So you could actually, when they click on it, it changes, it flicks over to sign up. Let's just have a look at it. So that's how you'd handle that, the login page for eventual customers so they can log in. Log out is also, well, actually you can see it's showing here for me, log out. So I think in the course in OptimizePress University, what I did is created a separate page, like a customer account page. And I used that where you'd go to log out. So when they are logged in, they could go to their My Account, and from there they would see. So for this one, if we preview this in an incognito window, we should then see the login option, and you can have the sign up option as well work. So there you go. Look, that's how the login page looks. And when you click sign up, it expands and it's then the sign up form. So that's how you do that one. Mark says, Kevin, can you show the page, the plugin that will protect my data for my course? Is that, I think, I'm guessing we're referring to, I don't think Kev means any other plugin. So Mark, this is Optimize Mentor, which is part of the OptimizePress suite. So it creates your courses. I think this is possibly the one you're referring to, and you can come in here and you can add new memberships and courses. I won't go into this too much because obviously it's a much deeper question, but that is what that one is. That one's for Mark. And there's lots of other questions. Ren has gone there. Okay. There's probably a few more questions. I'm conscious of time here, so we'll probably swing back to these. For people who've asked the question here, what we'll do is we'll go through them and we'll send you a question beforehand so you can not beforehand, after this webinar, we'll probably go through them. I can make a video and send you back anything specific that we've, stuff that we haven't had time to answer on here. So that's for like Ren and Brian. They're actually not online at the moment anyway, so they're not listening. So that's probably best for those ones. Kev, did you want to show the Mailchimp thing, or are you all right?
I don't have that ready. I'll have to send that out separately for him because
okay, cool.
Mailchimp changed their user interface, and to be honest, I can't figure out how to add a new field in there. So I'm learning that now.
That's nice of them. Yeah, there you go. I love it when I just love it when they do that.
They got to hide things. So we don't want nobody to add extra fields, so let's hide it way down in 20 different settings to click on before you get there.
crazy. Daniel, you're welcome. Thank you. Okay, we'll probably wrap it up there, Kev, unless there's anything. I know there's like, I think there's 5 questions we didn't get to complete from the previous that were sent in for people, and we also have there's some questions here in the chat. So thank you everyone who submitted questions. I'm just conscious of time. This is the longest we've gone on, and I know Kev's still got his whole day ahead of him, and there's still stuff to do. So we will come back to the questions that we haven't had a chance to answer. We'll get back to you with answers to those, and then or we might bring them into another webinar if they're kind of general ones, which we know people might want to see. How's that sound, Kev?
Sounds good. I want to pay somebody $20 to show me how to make a field in Mailchimp right now. Honestly.
Well, my advice is just to use another platform.
Yeah. Ted, let's use ActiveCampaign. I'll show you how to use that, man.
There you go, Ted. That's exactly what I'm the point. If they make it too hard, I just switch. I'm at a point now. I'm like going, if that's just too complicated, I'll just move. That's the same with everything, anything. My electric company, anything, all of them, phone companies. If it's too complicated, just move. But especially software.
If I had to change electric companies, I'd have to get solar panels. It's a monopoly over here.
Yeah, start selling them. Ted, there you go. So we can't fix that one right now. We will get to it. We're just not going to waste hours trying to fix how to put a simple form field in a form. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for being on here. We'll let you all go. You can log off. And thanks for being here. We'll get this video wrapped up and put into our YouTube channel. We'll probably trim off the last end of battling with Mailchimp. But we'll get the main bulk of it will be on the YouTube channel. We'll go through and edit it and get it all done. Kev, thanks as always. I really appreciate you being on here. And yeah, good night, everyone. Have a great day, evening, wherever you are. And we'll be back very soon. Kev, thank you. And I'll speak to you soon as well.
All right. Y'all have a good night.